Go live?
Yes, we're live. Okay, so turn it a bit this way. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Go live? Yes, we're live. Hi everyone. Hello. Yeah, this way we're not going to see ourselves.
Well, we can still see ourselves. We can hear ourselves.
Yeah, right.
But it says chat disconnected. Please wait while we're trying to connect you. And it says successfully connected. There's no agenda of any kind, so I don't know which one is which.
Yeah. Now I still have a few more minutes. Hi everyone, we'll start in a few minutes. Let's just give a chance for everyone to get to the session.
We have 7 waiting.
7 waiting?
I don't know, what does it mean? What are they waiting for? Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
It might just... Okay, there you go. It might just be also that the timer hasn't run out yet, so they're not allowed to do it, I think.
Okay. So they don't see us yet, do they?
I think they do.
Guys, do you see us? Could you let us know in the chat, please? Because it says 7 waiting. We're not sure if you're actually seeing us. Do we just sit steady? Or...
Wait, well, we can test these. Can you see them? From Twitter. I hear you somewhere.
We did not restrict Iran.
If there's no questions, you can just...
Hi Maria, welcome.
Oh, hello, Maria.
We actually didn't plan, just about our outfits. We actually didn't plan any of this. It just so happened that today we're wearing orange. Yesterday we were wearing same colored pants as well. Or trousers, I guess they say in the US, right?
No, I say pants.
Pants, okay.
Well, I mean, it's 8 o'clock.
It's 8, so I guess we'll just start. I guess everyone who's here has seen the big announcement we've made recently. So we're not going ahead with the auction system. We're doing a whitelist with individual caps. As one big news. Second one would be that we are either giving some bonus for the pre-ICO investors who are holding their tokens for 3 to 6 months, or we are inviting them to sell the tokens back to us at the ICO price. There's all of the details in the email if you haven't seen it. What else? Yes, we are announcing the KYC system. It should go live on the 28th of October. So everyone will be able to start registering. You need to join the KYC to be on the whitelist, so you'll need to provide us a list of documents. We also outlined that in the email. And yeah, I think we could use the session more as a Q&A session. So whatever questions you have, just let us know. We'll be happy to answer straight away.
Well, there's immediately above this question on the hard cap. So the hard cap, if you want to talk about the total supply of coins or tokens, if you want, is 100 million. So it's very easy to see that the total absolute supply at this stage is well, 25 million. But it is not identical with the circulating supply. The circulating supply, including the buyback, well, it's going to be a range because we don't know exactly how many people are going to buy them back. So it ranges from essentially from 0 to 11 million tokens. But if you take the average, it's going to be, what is it, like 11 million, yeah.
Yeah, so about we ran a poll and we asked pre-ICO investors, are you expecting to hold the tokens for 3 to 6 months and get a bonus, or do you expect to sell them back? And the responses are roughly half-half. So we expect that about 5.5 million tokens will be sold back to WaBi project, and those tokens we will hold as the project reserve for at least 6 months. And then, yeah, if we need to start using it to get additional resources for the project, we could start using it. But so far, I think the money that we'll raise at the ICO should be enough for us. In terms of if we just take the tokens that will be sold as the pre-ICO plus at the ICO and minus the tokens that we buy back and multiply it by the price at which we're going to be selling at ICO, which is 25 cents, you get about $13 million. But out of that $13 million, about $1.5 million will be spent to buy back the pre-ICO tokens. So overall, the amount of funds that we will have raised will be about 11.5 million.
So it's, yeah, 11.5 million.
So 11.5 million, I guess, would be the short answer to your question. Are we talking to any exchange? We started. We are not announcing any exchanges yet, but we still have a month before the ICO, more than a month before the start of the ICO. So of course we'll start announcing more news on that.
I'm not so clear what is 24-hour personal stash bonus. Yeah, if you could elaborate on the personal stash bonus, please, that will be helpful. In terms of the personal total amount of people will invest. Well, it depends on the whitelist, right? So the larger the whitelist, then the regulation will come. Well, not regulation, but at least the initial individual cap will depend on the total amount of people at first, and then we'll kind of slowly relax it. I think we specified somewhere that will double it each day for 3 days, and then it will be free for all
from day 4. Yeah. What WaBi is going to act as a marketplace to buy things through a mobile app. Well, WaBi is a loyalty program, and it will be on top of Walimai Safe Channel for consumer products. And in terms of how people access it, yes, mobile app is one of the points of access, but there are other points of access like the offline stores where we actually plan to push it to the P2P sales when it's person-to-person sales, or in Chinese called Weishang. It's a pretty big market here. Any more questions? Do US citizens need to be accredited investors to join the ICO, or will the third-party provider you selected perform that service? Well, you need to be accredited investor, and the third-party provider that we're going to work with will be kind of getting you through that process. So if you qualify to be an accredited investor, you can provide certain documents to the to this company, and they will prove your qualification as the accredited investor. Your mail mentions a bonus for people replying on the query within 24 hours. You mentioned this comes from owner's own personal stash. What is the reason for that query? Is that to get insight? Yes, it is to get insight. It is for us to understand what's the intention of people in terms of contributing at ICO, so that we could manage things in the right way. Any other questions? We don't have to keep it too long, so if you don't have any more questions, we can...
Wait, I don't think we have announced on the Telegram. Kitty? Can you please announce it on the Telegram that we have a live session? Thanks, and Slack as well.
Is the PR team that is going to market WaBi? What developmental updates are you guys at WaBi most excited about? Well, PR team, we're actually working with a PR agency that is doing specifically PR, i.e. dealing with all sorts of media, and then the marketing is actually done in-house. What developmental updates are you guys most excited about? Well, actually connecting to the WaBi loyalty program, connecting it with Walimai Safe channel. I think that's going to be a pretty big step when the first consumers will be able to use WaBi to buy stuff. I was part of the pre-ICO. Do you have a guaranteed spot in the ICO now? As long as you pass the KYC. Hello everyone, so good to see you. Thank you. Good to see you too.
Yeah, I think I'll should have more people joining now that we just announced on Telegram.
How will I get my pre-WaBi funded back? ETH. Yes, it will be either ETH or B2C. Most likely we'll just use the currency which you use to actually purchase your pre-WaBi. But we'll announce all the details soon. Just give us a bit of time to work it out properly so that it's an easy process for everyone. Can we react to Blood Mobile song by They Might Be Giants now? It isn't copyrighted at all.
I think there might be some sort of autocorrect going on there, which is
yes.
Or I don't know, maybe just post it in the wrong channel. But we kind of have struggled a bit with understanding. So if you could, Ravi, if you could elaborate on your question, would be great. Yes, you can.
Can I still participate in ICO sure, if I wasn't part of the pre-ICO? Yes, you can.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. It's a signed song.
Well, let's keep it a Q&A for now, and then maybe we'll do kind of a performance afterwards.
I didn't say this.
No, I didn't say. I mean, I'm saying that we'll maybe have to push it for a different session. At least Q&A.
No, we'll just do the Q&A for now.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to avoid, essentially, you know.
Yeah, we're actually avoiding this.
Songs that suck in your head.
Yeah. How big is Walimai already? Well, we sell online. We sell at 3 offline baby stores. We've had a few hundred customers. So I wouldn't say that we're big. We actually didn't scale yet. We were working out the model that would work well. And now we're at the point where we want to start scaling.
I mean, you might want to comment in terms of the team size and all that.
In terms of the team size, we have about 15 people. So some people are part-time, so if you count them, it goes up to 20.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because the Walimai label cannot be taken away from the product. So once it's placed there, it stays there forever. So you can only take it away, but you will destroy the label in the process, and it will fail to scan. So it kind of defeats the purpose of taking it away. And by the way, this is like one of the key differences that we have with other good RFID providers, because they you know, if you just attach an RFID and you don't securely sort of in a way that you don't make it fragile enough that it breaks, then you can always substitute, as Lotus X56 points out. Yours, yeah. And yeah, probably another thing is that we might be kind of a bit absent from the social media, or maybe not. I mean, because we'll be in the same time zone as most of our.
Yeah, we're going to be in the US this week. So the timing when we are active is going to be a little bit different. Now it's been mostly late at night for us, so we'll be more present at the ET time.
Total supply, it's 100 million.
Are you going to do weekly Q&A? Yes, we'll try to do weekly Q&A. I think next week probably will be a bit later. So today it's on Monday. Next week will probably be a bit later because we're going to be flying around. But yeah, roughly we'll do weekly Q&A.
So the next sector would be cosmetics, which ties in nicely with our sales model through the baby stores. As you mentioned, alcohol, and another one, it's kind of, it will work on more international markets. It will be sort of securing products that leave China to international markets through kind of cross-border exchanges. So here that I think the electronics seems to be like the most promising sector.
How are you going to get on decent exchanges? Well, we are putting together a pretty tight legal structure so that there's no questions there. That's actually one of the reasons we have the pretty detailed KYC as well. So we are very transparent and clear there as well. And well, with your support and successful ICO, I'm sure we'll be able to list at decent exchanges. Question from Mario. Do WaBi pre-sale investors have to pass KYC, AML, and accredited investor verification if they are from the US? So if you want to sell the tokens back to us, then no. If you want to keep them, then yes. Will tokens be immediately tradable also on Ether Delta, or will you lock them until a decent exchange? So tokens will be locked for a few days at least, but I wouldn't mention the exact days yet. I think this announcement will come a bit later. Лучше вопрос читать, то понятно, что у нас. Do you want to take this one?
Sure. Okay, so can you explain a bit the role that the WaBi token will play in solving the problem of fake goods being sold in market? So basically, there is a Walimai label, and Walimai label creates a secure channel. So essentially, if you buy a product with Walimai label, you can be sure that the product is secure. And the way we do it is we build around the business model that sort of prompts people to do certain actions that allows us to have a very low-cost label which provides a very high level of security. So normally this kind of security will be only achievable through active RFID chips, which require battery, so we don't require battery. And so basically we're building a retail channel, and the WaBi label will be used there first as a technical token, as a way to incentivize people to scan with an app, because it is a paramount moment, or one of the key features in the security of the system, because it creates this constant data change in the system, which makes cloning of the RFID chips practically impossible. And the second function of the WaBi token will be a loyalty point. So essentially people will be rewarded for buying protected products through the Walimai ecosystem.
So another question, are you currently in talks with cosmetics makeup companies, or are you just looking to get into it? So here it's important to emphasize the difference. We are not a B2B company, right? So for us, the other producers are not really clients, so it's not that we're trying to sell to them. For us, the cosmetics will be something that will be sold through our channel. So it's not that we need to approach them trying to sell our labels to them. The way that it works with them is that they start to sell through our channel, and I think the way that it will start first is we will start to buy their products. So it will be we will be our own merchants on our own platform, and place our labels and sell them in China. So that will be the first steps, and that's not something that takes months and months of negotiations, which normally B2B businesses like.
So, to put it in a nutshell, we can start selling cosmetics within next week or two. Basically, it doesn't require us to have any protracted negotiations with the brand owners. So we can do it very fast.
Yeah, but I would finish the ICO first.
Yeah, obviously.
So about the buyback of the tokens, it's the project. It's a WaBi company, WaBi project, private company that is buying back the tokens. What is the expected consumer adoption of WaBi by 2018? Well, we'll see. We'll see how quickly it grows. It's a bit hard to say right now.
I mean, we can say that that we're targeting hundreds of stores. I mean,
yeah, we're targeting to be in several hundred offline baby stores
by the end of the year.
2018. Yeah.
With the crypto markets have an act, meaning that communication about the project is everything for investors. Well, I mean, our experience, I guess, is not. Like some of our advisors are much more experienced in crypto markets than we are. But what we have noticed is that well, first they're very volatile, which is not going to be news for anyone. And second, that there is, I guess, a lot of informational sort of asymmetry, right? So there are a lot of project proposals going on, and but few people actually know what's going on behind the scenes. That's why we decided from the beginning that we want to be very transparent and sort of let people know what's going on here, like why we're making decisions that we're making, and kind of try to bring down this level of informational asymmetry in a way.
What's the expected consumer adoption of WaBi by 2018?
You just answered
sorry, we answered that. How big is the WaBi private company right now? Well, I wouldn't separate WaBi from Walimai, and that's the question I already answered. So in terms of the team, I guess could give you some sense. It's about 15 people, 20 people if you count all the part-timers. It's a pretty big decision to buy back 2.4 million USD to pre-sale investors. So, confident to sell out in the ICO. We are quite confident. Actually, the people we speak to in our channels and also the growth of our groups give us quite a lot of confidence. On one hand, on the other hand, we're actually expecting that it will not be 2.4 million, but from the little poll that we did with pre-ICO contributors, it looks like it will only be about 1.5 million that we'll need to buy back, roughly half of the tokens. So, like we told people before, there's actually a lot of people who want to hold the tokens long term. Who is directly funding the buyback of the pre-ICO? Is it a bank loan? No, it's not a bank loan. It's the WaBi project company that is buying back the tokens. When do people sell their pre-WaBis so we ICO investors are not afraid of getting dumped by them? Okay, so it was actually a question back from us. So Yaroslav was asking, have you guys seen any of the video reviews that we've done? We've done it with Crypto Grinders, with Crypto, with
Matt.
With Matt.
From I think it was Hey Matty, the name of the channel.
Have you seen any of the reviews? What differentiates WaBi from competitors like VeChain and Walton? Thanks for the question. So I'll take a bit of time to respond on that. So first on the technology, I think the VeChain really focuses on the blockchain part of it, but they also say that they will work with QR codes and RFIDs in terms of connecting the blockchain to the real world. As an anti-counterfeit company, we believe that's not something that works because QR codes are very easy to fake and the RFIDs can be cloned as well. So unless they have a protection similar to what we have at Walimai with the RFID, it's the connection of the blockchain with real-world objects doesn't really work very well. Comparing us with Walton, I actually, as far as I understand from the white paper, they're actually building their own chip, which will be an active chip. So I think here we are different because we're using standard passive RFID chips, and A, they're much cheaper, B, they don't have a battery, so the battery doesn't potentially run out, so you don't get all of the difficult questions from people in supply chain. And C, we're using standard infrastructure, so consumers with mobile phones can actually use it. If Walton is developing their own chip, I don't know, but I guess it may be a bit more difficult to scale it with the consumers. So that's on the technology side. Now, On the business side, the big difference is B2B and B2C. They are B2B, we are B2C. We're building a sales channel, a safe product sales channel with Walimai, and WaBi is being a loyalty point within that sales channel. VeChain and Walton, as far as I understand, use their tokens for the operation of their blockchain in more of a B2B fashion.
It's also another thing that I want to point out is that we are much more focused on what we're doing, right? So we're doing baby formula, and we are doing well, cosmetics, because these are the same customers, the young mothers, and we will be sort of slowly adding alcohol, which will target the fathers. As far as I know, VeChain wants to do everything from wine to fashion bags to the automotive parts. And well, I guess this is the reason why they use all sorts of these technologies. But for us, we want to do something that we really understand. And so this has been FMCG and sort of IT integration within the FMCG, right? So we'll be doing something that we are good at.
Do you have a bounty? No, we don't have a bounty program.
So this, I think, Azim will cut off before the questions about dumping. Yeah. So the tokens will be bought back prior the ICO tokens listed on the exchanges, right? So there will be no dumping taking place whatsoever. So they will either be bought back by us, or they will be locked for either 3 to 6 months, depending on the choice of the pre-ICO investors.
Or the pre-ICO investors will be actually buying more at the ICO itself, but then they are already buying at the same price as everyone else at the ICO. So they're probably not buying it to dump it later. Next question. Is there a limit to how many investors can invest in the whitelist? Yes, there will be an individual cap. It will be determined by. It will be determined closer to the time when we close the whitelist. Then, if the tokens are not sold out on day 1, the individual cap will be doubled on day 2, then doubled again on day 3, and then it will be removed on day 4.
November. No, this is not the reason why the ICO has been moved further in November. The reason was because we changed the model from bidding system to the whitelist, and we just needed time to adjust. To be frank, I think making decisions in crypto world based on kind of the current state of the market is a bit naive, to be honest. We have seen, the fluctuations of hundreds of percent. Therefore, no, we didn't take this into consideration.
Exchanges are, of course, important. Besides Bittrex, I agree, exchanges are important. Yes, we're considering a list of exchanges, and we'll make the announcements when the time comes.
Well, I mean, from where we come from, the prisoners are not dressed like that. So for us, is we don't have this kind of association. Although we're traveling to the US tomorrow, so we might change our clothing for that purpose.
If I want my pre-WaBi refunded and still participate in the ICO, is that possible, or do I have to participate? Yes, it's possible. So you need to pass the KYC and follow the instructions.
Kemal, we're selling commercially, so I guess MVPs, you know, all good.
Kemal, even before the white paper, just have a look at our website. There are pictures and videos of us and the consumers, our customers using the products. So it's actually a lot further than an MVP.
Well, we already have it essentially. Yeah, so we answered your question there. Market ready. It's already on the market. You can. There are also links to our online stores where you can, you know, check it out.
Thank you.
Well, I don't have a driving license, so you know, for me, being pulled over might actually equal to being, you know, put in prison. So you might be right there.
I don't think you can use a Western driving license in China.
No.
No, you have to get a local one.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't drive here, so I'd say. Sorry about the background noise. It's just all the meeting rooms were occupied, so we kind of doing it in a bit more of an open space. But thanks for the note. You look like Dutch people in orange. Actually, we have a lot of Dutch supporters on one hand, and we have some Dutch people on our team. So I guess they may be affecting us in our choices of clothes colors.
Lotus X56. We're selling not in supermarkets, but in baby stores. So this is a dedicated channel for baby and mother-related products in China. So yes, we have our terminals in this in the stores as well.
I get a little bit dizzy from seeing us on different screens at the same time. It's too many of us.
Walt, do you mind
Yes.
sort of updating the sort of reposting this thing in the Telegram, because I think a lot of people have questions there that might want to answer here.
Sorry, I have to use my phone.
Most people in Europe are working right now. Maybe next time you can make Q&A at another time after 6 p.m. CST. Yes, we try to match people with the timing. Normally we actually try to do it over the weekend so that people could join.
Although
but I think people will be able.
6 p.m. CST, we will not be in our best shapes, to be honest, because we are broadcasting here from Shanghai, so it will be in the middle of the night.
Two WaBi for the price of one. Some Choi, I'm afraid, pre-ICO is over. There's no 2 WaBi for the price of one.
I think I was referring to our clothing.
I know.
So
Kemal, thanks for the suggestion on the timing, though. Sorry guys, we just finished a live stream due diligence on WaBi. Is that a statement to us or to the other people who are watching? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. Have we passed?
Yeah, have we passed? We did not figure out the total token supply. Total token supply is 100 million WaBis. big thumbs up from me. Been following this for a while. Thank you. Okay, last 3 questions.
Sure, I mean, but let's I don't know, let's give it some time.
I would wait until 9.
And Ralph, like, we actually answered this question like at the as it was one of the first questions, but again, sort of total supply is not equal to the circulating supply, right? And the circulating supply, well, I mean, I think it's better if we kind of publish it in the white paper I think right after the live stream.
Is there a limit user in the ICO? So is there an ETH cap? Yes, there will be an individual cap for participation, which will be doubled on day 2 and doubled again on day 3 and removed on day 4. What will happen to unsold tokens? So if there are unsold tokens at the ICO, they will go into a reserve of WaBi project and will be held in reserve for at least 6 months. Any exchange conversations happening in the background? Yes, there are a few things happening in the background, and when we have the things to announce, we will announce them. So just
in a
wait for us.
In a long email, as as we usually do it. Well, because it is kind of a wooden hut here.
I didn't make this choice. What are the incentives for people to hold WaBi? Well, for the pre-ICO investors, I think there's a lot of people who choose to hold WaBi. And as a bit of a thank you, we give them 5 to 10% for holding those WaBis. But it's more of a thank you. They could actually sell it back to the project as well. And for the others, well, I guess everyone will have their own individual reasons why they would want to hold WaBi. Great, thank you so far. Can you please say goodbye in Mandarin?
Well, in Mandarin, goodbye will be just bye-bye.
But you'd be surprised, but yes, that's what people say here. Bye-bye.
Pre-sale money running out. Well, I mean, we'll be just, be just being called like we're dressed like prisoners, so you might draw some parallels here.
Next time we should rent a Lambo and do a Q&A from a Lambo. I think it could be more exciting for some of the participants.
From Miami. from the beach, I don't know, with them.
How much experience do you guys have in crypto? Well, some experience. I think actually more of the mature experience in crypto is coming from some of the other people on our team as well as our advisors. Our experience is really focused on the business side. So that's on the with the baby food companies, with supply chains, with trade, so with marketing, so making sure that we can actually run the business well. Come to London. I actually was in London about 10 days ago. I hope we'll be able to share some more news on that soon. It's going to be quite exciting news.
Actually, I'm going in late November. No, mid-November.
Mid-November. You're going in what, 4 weeks time?
Something like that, yeah.
Is there a roadmap anywhere, by the way? Yes, please have a look in our white paper. There is a roadmap. There's actually something on the website as well, but it's a bit more detailed than in the white paper. Are you hiring? We're always hiring, but our tests are not easy. Good one. So, a few more questions. What's been best and worst thing about running this project in the run-up to the ICO? So, this is more a question about Walimai, and Yaroslav might have a different opinion, but for me, the best thing is to see the excitement of our consumers when they buy the products and they're sure that, okay, what I'm buying is safe, and you just see their face, they're very excited about that. The worst, I don't know, I always feel that it could move faster, it could be better, and never really satisfied with results. So that's a bit of a annoying feeling, which I guess would be one of the worst things.
Well, I mean, you see, one of the sort of major satisfactions in life is overcoming adversity, and here we deal a lot with it. So I have a lot of chance to deal with all sorts of ad hoc regulations, problem with suppliers, problem with clients who don't always think in the most rational way. And kind of once we tackle all these problems, and yeah, I mean, it feels really good. So it's a great kind of puts you, it's a great learning experience, I guess. Like every time you deal with something, you feel like you've grown personally.
Yeah. So I see you guys have a working product already and a website with few products. Where is this currently based in Singapore? Well, we're based in Shanghai. The WaBi project is a Singapore company, which is fundraising, but most of the team is based in Shanghai. Why did you decide to raise the ICO cap by 2.5 million? Mostly to buy back the pre-ICO tokens. So that's any fear of dumping would be taken away. And as a longer-term goal for that, that's actually to have a successful ICO. There's been so much talk about the fear of dumping at the exchanges, and a lot of people were saying that, yeah, I'll just wait for the exchange, that we were actually risking not having a successful ICO at all. So it was a choice of either raising the cap and taking, absorbing any of the dumping, or risking not having a successful ICO at all. And we've chosen the first option. Do you have any new partnerships in the near future, and in what fields? Well, we plan to start with selling alcohol and cosmetics. It's not as much of a partnership, so it's just extending the product range that we're selling and growing the consumer base. We plan to extend that's partnerships with baby stores. So right now it's just 3, so it will be more. And we're actually, with the ICO process, we're receiving a lot of incoming requests for the technology. A couple of days ago, there was a new one. There was a US company with food additives who is having some interest in Walimai. I guess they will be interested in tapping into the China market with our labels, but we'll see how the negotiations will go.
So what do you think about the trend of some other ICOs raising significant capital with no product, just a white paper? Well, I think both myself and Alex are kind of old enough to remember the dot-com bust in late 90s, early 2000s. And if you look at the trend, I mean, there's like, it is almost the mirror image of what was happening back then. So in the end of the day, well, I mean, it cannot last forever like this, because there definitely will be a lot of flops and failures. But only the strongest will survive, and the market will be better until the next bubble. So, you know, it's always cyclical.
At the same time, all the money raised through the ICO right now is like 0 point something% of the Apple's valuation, or 1% of Facebook's valuation. I mean, it does look very bubbly, and when projects are raising a lot of money without really clear product or without any success metrics, it's a bad sign. But we'll see how it carries on going forward.
But it's not just the bad product. It's just, you know, that's what I've been saying all along. It's just in the absence of the, you know, the business plan or the business model of how you want to make money. It's not enough just to make a product. You need to make sure that you know how to sell it, and you have to make sure that there are people who are willing to pay for it. You know, just having the product itself and thinking that it, you know, will sell itself is just it's kind of a self delusion. Well, I think we have is there a link on the WaCoin?
It's great. You guys have a working product already. That's the main key that's intrigued me. Yeah, have a look at wacoin.io. There's lots of details on that. I agree on your decision to buying back the pre-sold tokens. However, if you only need to buy 1 million to buy 3.7 million tokens at 25 cents. Well, I'm not sure where you got 3.7 million tokens that we need to buy back. There were 10 million pre-WaBis and then 1 million in bonus, which are pretty much the same. So 11 million altogether that was sold at pre-ICO. We expect that about half will be sold back to the project. So that's 5.5 million, and multiplying 5.5 million by 0.25, you get, how much do you get?
What do we multiply here? Well, basically, yeah, we'll have so we have 11 million tokens in circulation at 0.25, and our current survey says that, you know, half of the people will be selling back. and half of the people it makes it so to 25. It's roughly 2.5, a bit more than that. So half, it's about 1.25 million. Yeah. 1.3 million to buy back the expected amount.
Yeah, thank you. It's a bit late here, and it looks like my maths is failing me by now. So I should not do mental calculations, and we'll just use Excel from 8 p.m. onwards.
But then again, this number was sort of the expected amount, right? So we have to make sure that if 100% of people choose to sell it back, then
we still have a viable project, and we'll be able to take it off the ground. After all, that's important. Thanks for the questions, CryptoBulk. What would you say would be your major challenges ahead? Well, one of the biggest challenges that we'll be facing is actually gaining the trust of the consumers. So it's trust in the system, trust in the fact that what we're selling is, or what is being sold through our channel more specifically, is real and safe. There's been a lot of projects that have been making claims of authentic products that after all failed, and that created a lot of allergy to the claims of authenticity. So it's not very easy to prove to the consumers and to persuade them that what we're selling is real. That's probably the major challenge, and this is where WaBi will actually help us a lot. A loyalty program is something that will help us to get more association from the consumers with what we do, and that's how we will be able to gain more trust, and this is how we'll be able to persuade them more.
But it's also, it's not just the sort of historic bit of it. It's also currently there are a few competitors that they want to be our competitors who are emerging, who we know have very bad technology. And so unfortunately in the future we expect there will be more sort of blowbacks of fake products ending up in protected supply chains, which will create another wave of scandals and distrust in the system. And until we have a sufficient market share to establish ourselves as the standard, these challenges will be, the biggest headache.
Yeah. Where will you be visiting in the United States? So we plan to be in New York, in Miami, and maybe a couple of other locations. We are deciding right now on what are the other things that we'll do. Crypto, are you going to visit Germany? Well, we'd love to, but it was great when you came to London. No more questions from Telegram?
No, not really.
Any suggestions on when would be a good time to do another Q&A session? And also maybe any difference on the format that you think could work well? Where do you see your products in 2 years, and what do you hope to be accomplished by them? Well, we see a few thousand baby stores selling our products. We see baby food and cosmetics being sold through them. We see the alcohol products being sold with our labels across China and Southeast Asia. And we also see 2 or 3 big players using our labels and our loyalty program in their production.
Well, if we are lucky, we have some sort of partnerships with cross-border platforms as well.
Yeah. Are you thinking of tapping into more than baby products? Yes, like I said, cosmetics, alcohol, pharma. There's actually a lot of other categories like medical devices, for example, and food additives like health foods. But the core ones are baby food, cosmetics, alcohol, and pharma. Yeah, exactly. That's when I said health food. Vitamins would be part of health foods.
So essentially, anything packaged, we can work with. We cannot work with sort of products which are sold in bulk. Like we cannot secure a piece of steak unless it is packaged. Or,
hi guys, do you picture your brand becoming more or less mainstream, or being more of a niche quality brand? Well, I think it starts as
niche,
a premium,
if you want, yeah.
Premium niche. But then as we get more of the volumes and also our labels become cheaper, it can go more and more mainstream so that it covers more and more of the market.
But again, it is unlikely that we're going to be securing loose vegetables, for example.
Yeah, you probably will not see our labels on potatoes or eggs.
Oh, eggs, I don't know. There are some premium eggs that are quite expensive here. So. Well, I mean, there's a problem, and there are fake eggs, like really, inject some stuff in. So. Or like these Japanese watermelons that go for like $500.
The crabs.
Not crabs, watermelons. Like this, like a cube-shaped watermelons.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about the crabs.
The crabs are easy, but imagine watermelons. So,
they actually use a QR code on those crabs.
You can use a QR code on a watermelon. You can sort of grow into the QR code.
So individual grow into the individual code.
It's like they grow, pictures on vegetables. Well, exactly, that's what I'm saying. The strawberries, but they have like a special watermelons and melons, and they have to look perfect. I mean, just kind of wabi-sabi, a little bit imperfect. And so essentially, yeah, I mean, I guess we could secure those. Although, to fake them, you will have to be kind of as skillful as the original maker. So, as they say, the great copycat is as good as the master, almost.
How much does the chip cost currently, and are you running conjunctions with Walton or have your own technology? So, on the first question, we don't really speak about the cost of the chip. What I can tell you is right now we sell baby food at 20% premium. And if I put it into US dollars, and for a can that normally sells for 30 USD, we sell it for 36. So there's 6 USD on top that customers are willing to pay. And well, that's actually a small price to pay for safety of the food for your baby.
But I think it's important to notice, right, that this is not cost-based pricing.
It's not cost-based pricing. The cost is, cost is much lower than that. Are we running in conjunction with Walton? Well, I was just describing the difference with Walton. We are very different in terms of technology. We're very different in terms of business model. Actually, we're very different in terms of the team as well.
To be frank, we don't know where we can find Walton technology. So if you can point us to like where it has been applied already, we'll gladly check it out. But so far, we have not seen anything beyond the video on the website.
And what is WaBi actually used for? Just for the store? Well, WaBi is a loyalty program point. So it's used. It's a bit like you have air miles for airlines. So WaBi will be used to buy consumer products in the Walimai sales channel. That's what WaBi is used for.
Well, yes, and also to sort of encourage the behavior on behalf of the consumer to secure the system as a whole. Because there are a lot of things that we can do with packaged products. You see, we can now sort of authenticate them and create this kind of constant data change in the system, which makes it impossible to clone. We can verify purchases, which is a very important feature to have for FMCG, and I don't think any FMCG company has it now, so we are very uniquely positioned there. And this is what WaBi will be used for.
Of course, it's cheap. People are taking a lot of baby formula from Australia and sending it at premium to Asian countries. Yes, that's actually what's happening. There's is for the quality reasons, but also for the fact that the foreign baby formula is actually sold at very high prices here. So sometimes actually buying it in Australia and sending it here in an individual package could be cheaper than buying the same brand from a shop here in China. When Moon is always there. Are you guys following the BTC Gold drama? To be honest, we're so busy that we're not really following any drama, being that online, in the print, or on TV. There's just no time for it.
We're living in our own drama if you check our sort of social channels.
Okay, we'll take the last few questions. And then if you have more questions after that, you can still reach us in our channels. I'll be looking into you guys more. Seem like a solid team. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's just two of us sitting here. There's actually more people around right now. Despite the late hour, they're still in the office, making sure that all this is running smoothly.
Eating a cake over there.
Or eating a cake. Please leave us some. Vladimir, why not in green?
Because orange is the new green.
What's with orange? Dutch pride? No, we just like this color. Okay, I think that was the last two questions then. All right then, we'll always be available in the communication channel, so Telegram, Slack. You can always reach us there. Any questions, we'll try to respond. Someone from our team will always respond. We're very open and available there. And thanks for joining. Thanks for your questions. And yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Sure. Well, I think yeah, I know why orange actually. It's because it ends up on sale like most of the time, and that's why when you shop, that's when we get it.
Why did you have to say that?
Well, I don't know. You know, people say why Lambda, why Moon. You know. Kind of.
Yeah, no, it was on sale. Fair enough. All right, thanks. Cheers. Keith, no minimum investment amount required. Don't worry. Are you going to expand on your team? Of course.
Well, I mean, so long as it's kind of perceptible, right?
I mean, it comes from the business needs. So if teams needs to be expanded, there are more things that we need to do, and we need more people or certain skills that we don't have. Then yes, we're not going to expand the team just to expand the team. Yes, of course.
Salespeople again, because we're dealing in sort of a B2C space. Our sales force is probably not going to be part of the team. It's going to be more of a how to put it,
kind of an outsourced block.
Outsourced block.
It's just when you think of salespeople that way, it's slightly separate from the structure. It operates in a very different way, so we consider it as a slightly different part of the team. Alex, are you stoned? No, I'm not. It's to be honest, it's just been a very busy day, and I'm very, very tired right now.
Well, actually, just before the live stream, we had some cake, and it was like a normal cake, right? So we just essentially we're kind of. Yeah, we just get some sugary intake.
You saw how the world started smiling after the word cake, and that's why you kind of tried to fix that. Well, did you do something?
A little bit.
Do people smoke cannabis in China? I'm sure they do, although we haven't seen any of those around us, but probably some way, you know.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be in touch through the channels. Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.